Hi, my stitchy friends. This is Heather, the 20-minute stitcher. My pronouns are she, her. Welcome to my little corner of floss tube. I hope that you have had a wonderful month of June. Today is Saturday, June 29th, 2024. And I am so happy that you chose to click play on my video. If you are new here, I have noticed I've gotten quite a few new subscribers this month, so welcome. So happy you're here. I hope that you will like what you'll see, that you'll choose to comment, share what you're stitching on, and just choose to hang out for a little while. Because I have some new viewers, new subscribers, I thought maybe I'd take a little moment to just introduce my channel again, introduce myself again. I haven't done that in a while. So if you are old school 20-minute stitcher viewer, just bear with me for a couple minutes. I appreciate it. So as I said, my name is Heather. I live in Northeast Ohio. I am a single mom to two amazing kids, one of whom is on her way back from scout camp as I film. The other who is in the room next door playing on the Xbox. So he knows I'm filming. We'll see how the game goes. Hopefully you won't hear him screaming and yelling in the background. And I have been stitching most of my life. I started this channel for a whole host of reasons, but I call myself the 20-minute stitcher because it used to be that really the only time I would have to stitch in a day would be the 20 minutes between when my daughter got on the bus for school and when my son gets on the bus for school. My daughter's 17 and a half, drives herself now, but we're busy with other things. So it is still not uncommon for me to really have kind of only an average of maybe 20 minutes a day to stitch. And, you know, I just felt like that was a corner of floss tube that maybe wasn't being shown much. That, you know, sometimes we feel like our crafts, if we don't have a lot of time to spend on them, then they're not worth doing. And that's not true. Even with 20 minutes, you can make progress. So I used to film every other week, and my videos would tend to be 30 minutes or less, which was the other reason why I called myself the 20-minute stitcher. Wanted to kind of fill a space of shorter videos. Life is, for a whole host of reasons, I switched to filming on a monthly schedule, and I won't dive into those. You can go back to my December videos where I talk about that if you're interested in the reasons why. So my videos are a little longer now because I do only film once a month. But I've got lots to share, especially because I have overly ambitious plans for this year. I created 3 different WhipGo boards. So there are 6 projects a month that I am stitching on. And so yeah, that's me. I hope that you'll like what you see and will choose to stick around. And if you happen to just stumble on this video and are not a subscriber, I'd love you to click that button and be part of the community. I'm not the most active floss tuber on YouTube, but I do love comments. I reply to every single one, and I love getting to know you and seeing what you are working on as well. You can also follow me over on Instagram, and I am at the 20-minute stitcher over there as well. All right, so that's the intro. That's me. Let's get into things. I start every video by sharing my monthly stats in my Notion template. So let me sort of flip over to that screen. I use the Notion template created by Stitchy because she is a genius with Notion. And what is on the screen now are my June monthly statistics. So again, Stitchy is a genius. So I stitched 16 unique days in the month of June. And I think this month, unlike other months, everything was a digital chart. So unless I missed putting a day in or missed putting a chart in, I think those numbers are accurate. I stitched almost 3,000 stitches this month, which isn't too shabby considering when you look at the calendar, I had like almost a whole month where I didn't stitch at all. Almost a whole week where I didn't stitch at all. And then this week here with all of this was StitchCon. So that's why there were so many different projects and lots of stitching there. So StitchCon definitely helped my numbers this month. I had 5 new starts, 2 finishes, and I worked on a total of 10 different projects, I think is the count there. So those are my June Stitchy stats. They tend to be pretty consistent. I tend to get somewhere between, right around 3,000 stitches in a month, which isn't too shabby given how hectic my life has been lately. So let's get into the stitching. I forgot to mention earlier, I do share at the end of my videos a little bit of a life update, and I share a segment that I call What I Have Been Reading, Watching, and Playing, because my other big hobbies are reading books and playing video games, and then what stitcher doesn't like to sit down with a good show or something like that and just have it on in the background while you're stitching. All right. Let's get into the stitching. Let me start first with my finishes. So I mentioned earlier that I have 3 different whip go boards going on this year. They are not all for whips though. Only one is for whips. One is for what I am calling my SAF go board, which stands for start and finish. I'm challenging myself to start and finish a smaller chart each month. And so I put together a whip go board, and fate decides what 2 are my starts and finish goals for that month. And I do my best to do them. I have met all but one so far. So let's get into it. So my first start and finish this month was from the 2021 Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition, and it is Ghoul Whip Hot Chocolate by Frony Ritter Designs. And you will see I actually left a lot of this chart out because I kind of decided there's a lot of extra stuff that I thought took away from what I liked best about the chart. So here is my finish. I just did the mug. I thought the mug is by far the coolest part and the cutest part of this whole chart. And so I did a center start, which I'm kind of bummed about because, like, look how much fabric there is. I wish I had started in the corner. I mean, I'm going to make an ornament out of this, and so I don't need a huge margin around the stitch design itself. So I will be able to stitch other small things on the leftover fabric. But when I started stitching it, I thought I was going to stitch the whole design. And I started this at StitchCon, and I just kind of, you're talking, you're hanging out, you're not necessarily applying a ton of critical thought. So I just did a center start because it was easiest, and it's fine. I'll still have plenty of fabric. But I mean, seriously, look how adorable this little guy is. I love the shading. I love the coloring. And I just thought adding the border and adding the words would just take away from focusing on how stinking cute this is. So I'm calling this a finish. I love it. So again, this is Ghoul Whip Hot Chocolate, and from the 2021 Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition by Frony Ritter Designs. I stitched it on a 16 count Aida that I hand dyed myself. So that is finish number 1. Finish number 2 is another Halloween themed chart. This is Inappropriate Cat Potion by Bad Stitch. And if you've been here for a while, you know that there are 4 of these inappropriate cats that I am stitching. So the first one I finished, which was called, I think in January, was Pumpkin. So this was a series of 6 inappropriate cats that Amanda designed for her patrons on Patreon. And I am stitching 4 of them. So I stitched Pumpkin in January. I stitched Candy Corn. I love his little bottle brush tail. He's very mad about that candy corn. In, I don't know, April, May? I don't know, doesn't matter. And then this month was Potion. I love this little guy. Look at him, he's like, what is that? He probably just knocked it over and now is like, oh wait, it's wet. I don't know what to do with it now. But that is Inappropriate Cat Potion by Bad Stitch. This is also on a 16 count Aida that I hand dyed myself. He's so cute. I adore him. These little cats are adorable. So those are my 2 finishes for the month of June. Let's move into new starts. So I had technically 5 new starts, though 2 of them were the ones that I also finished. So left over from that is 3 more new starts. And 2 of them were my second board. So I also created a board because I have so many charts and patterns. And I was like, I just want to get some of these started. I don't really have, I know some people don't like having too many whips. I don't mind so much, although I am finding this year, now that we're halfway through the year, now I'm kind of starting to stress about how many whips I have. I had to get a 3rd bin to put them in. So next year is going to be the year of the whips for me, I have a feeling. But I'm having lots of fun getting started on some of these charts that I own that I like. I'm excited to stitch. And for a while, I kind of just kept telling myself, well, I can't start that until I finish something else. And then I'm like, why? Life is short. I should start it. But now that I've started them, now I want to finish them. So next year will be year of the whip. So these are not in the order that I started them. They're just in the order that they're here on my table. So the first one that I will share, I started at StitchCon. No, stop it, sticky note. Sorry. I am stitching it with Dinky Dye's Terracotta, and the chart is Never Laugh at Live Dragons by Modern Folk Embroidery. I have a lot of Jacob's patterns. I love his charts. I actually have a couple that you'll see today. So this is Never Laugh at Live Dragons. He charted that and released it earlier this year. I am stitching mine on a 36 count Into the Veil by Bestitch Me. And again, I said with the Dinky Dye's Terracotta. And I just got a little start at StitchCon on the border, but that is my start. So just a little start. I love Dinky Dye silks. I love stitching with them. I love Jacob's patterns. I love stitching on them. So there we go. That's Never Laugh at Live Dragons. Just a little StitchCon start there. And it is being kept in my, this project bag that I purchased. I think I purchased this at last year's StitchCon, the Woodland Animals by Black Cat X-Stitchery, which is Tiffany, who I got to meet at StitchCon this year. And like adult, I didn't get a picture with her, but I love her bags. If you're looking for good project bags, hit up Tiffany. She's amazing. Okay, next new start, also started at StitchCon, is Water Quaker. This was one of my board calls. So Never Laugh at Live Dragons was just one I started because I wanted to start it. So it didn't have a goal. I started it. My board new starts, I have a goal to get 300 stitches in on them. So one of them was Water Quaker by Bendy Stitchy. I love Michelle's charts. I love Michelle. She's an amazing person. This chart is the whole reason why I bought the water box from Forbidden Fiber Company. So she designed this initially as an exclusive for the Water Elements box that Leanne from Forbidden Fiber Co. was putting together. And so it's charted with Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses on Forbidden Fiber Co. fabric. The fabric is called Spellbound, and I got the 32 count linen. Here are the colors. It's just 4 shades of blue. They are gorgeous. I love Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses. They are among my favorites. And where's the front? There we go. Now which direction does it go? There we go. And here is my start. I should have gotten my board out. Uh-oh. Oh, my needle just fell. That's not great. Oh, I see it. No, I don't see it. Oh, no! Okay. Find it later. And here is where I got to. Just over 300 stitches on that. Love it. Love it, love it. Oh, I see my needle. Please hold. I'm going to try not to jostle the camera too much. I'm just worried if I don't get it now, I'll forget about it. Okay. Crisis averted. That is Water Quaker by Bendy Stitchy. My final new start is a design by Maria of Quaternion Creations. She's an Estonian designer, and she does a lot of sort of mythology-based charts. I love her stuff. She has a book coming out that she has been doing in concert with, I think it might be her sister. I should know because I've watched the videos and then just my brain is not retaining information. That is a mix of original fables and fairy tales with cross-stitch charts to go with them. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. It is available for pre-order. Check out Quaternion Creations on Instagram if you're interested. But I'm kind of stoked about it. But let me pull up quickly the, Why is it not letting me pull up? Let me now cut over. There we go. I don't know why my OBS was being strange. Here is St. Julian of Norwich. This is a photo of the chart. And what's cool about St. Julian is she was one of the first women to write in the English language and be published. And she basically was a massive introvert, pulled herself away from society, lived with cats, and wrote books and read books. Sounds divine. So I was like, I need this chart. So this is, that's the chart. And that is the picture of what it will look like. And here is what I chose my, it's Two Peoply Outside needle minder. This is by Needle Attractions on Facebook. I'm 99% sure that's where I get 95% of my needle minders from. And I am stitching this on Dust Bunny linen by Fox and Rabbit. And that is what I got done so far. So a little bit of her neck and shoulder, a little bit of her hair, and, or not her hair, but her wimple and her cross. This is my first time stitching on Fox and Rabbit, and I love it. It's such a nice, soft linen to stitch on, and there aren't too many slubs. It's really nice to stitch on. So if you've been thinking about Fox and Rabbit, I just got it from my local needle workshop, and Dust Bunny is one of their new colorways that they released at market this year, and it's fabulous. It's beautiful. I kind of wish I had purchased more than I needed, but I can always go back and get more. So that is St. Julian of Norwich, and that was my last new start for the month of June. So let's roll into whips. I have 5 whips that I worked on. 2 of them were my Whip Go calls. So let me do those first. My Whip Go calls were another Quaternion Creations chart called Gaia. And that was from the Stitchers Collective Earth Day sort of special collection 2 years ago now, I think. I don't know. Time is relative. It has no meaning. So let me show you what the finished chart will look like if I can find my cursor again. Okay, seriously, where's my cursor? There it is. And that is this chart here. She's gorgeous. I'm stitching her exactly as called for in terms of the floss. This is with the sulky thread. And here is where I am now. So the last time I stitched on this recently, the last time I showed this to you, I pretty much was only kind of midsection here. So I added up here to her shoulder, and then I went down to the bottom of her skirt and across. So made quite a bit of progress on her. The needle minders one I got at StitchCon the first year I went in 2022. I am stitching this on a 32 count Lugana from Bestitch Me in the color Water Nymph. And as I mentioned, I am stitching it with a variegated sulky thread. This was the called for floss. It is number 4016 in the 12 weight cotton. Just one strand over 2 on the Water Nymph. So that is Gaia. That was one of my 2 Whip Go board calls in June. The second one is Nevermore by Lila Studio. And there's the photo of the finished product. Can make it a little bigger, I guess. There you go. That is what the finished product will look like. I am stitching this on a 25 count Lugana in the colorway Winter Sparrow by Forbidden Fiber Co. And I am stitching it with the Forbidden Fiber Co. floss conversion. So Leanne did a full Forbidden Fiber Co. floss conversion on this chart. And got some of them are a little messy here. And so those are the colors. Love them. And I kind of bounced around on this chart a little bit because it's gorgeous, but she's a big girl. And I was getting I remember the last time I was stitching on this, I was getting a little kind of tired of stitching the bottom border because I started in the bottom left on this chart. And those bottom borders are intense. They are, they're just denser than I think you would think they are originally. So I kind of bounced around a little bit. And here's where I am at now. So when I picked this up, I had this bottom border, all of this was already in, all of this was already in, and this line here was in. So I added everything above it. So I started with the next border, the triangles that alternates colors, and then I did this little motif here. I am stitching this one strand of floss over one since it's a 25 count. And I just love how dainty and just gorgeous it is, but it's going to be a while before this one is done. But I absolutely love this chart. I just had to get away from that dense border because it's exhausting. I also am finding I need my magnifiers for 25 count now. Maybe it's just because I've been working so hard and my eyes are just tired in general. But I used to be able to stitch on the 25 count without magnifiers. And I mean, I still can. It's just not very enjoyable. So I got my magnifiers out and am using them. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Next whip is my only Safco board call that I have not finished yet. I did not meet my goal. It was called in April. If you are a returning viewer, this will look familiar to you. You will know what I am talking about. This is Going Batty by Saving Grace's Fine Needle Art. It is from the 2023 Halloween Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it is this chart here. It's adorable. I wasn't having as much fun. My project bag just fell, pardon me. Keeping it real here, I'm a mess. All right. It wasn't as much fun to stitch as I thought it would be. And then I discovered that I had made a counting error and had started stitching the last side 2 stitches too low. So I had to frog the whole thing, which I did at StitchCon, and then started restitching it. So here is where it is now. So this was the side that I had started too low. I had stitched this bat, this border, the bat that goes here, and had started the coppery, orangey, sparkly stuff on the next one when I had discovered my mistake. So at StitchCon, I ripped out that whole side, everything that I had in there, and then I started restitching. And I counted about 9 times before I started stitching to make sure it was in the right place. So this one really won't take that much longer for me to finish. I just have to sit down and do it. I have to get some more 310. I mean, I have 310. I just have to get more in the project bag because I ran out of what I had kitted with the project. This is just being stitched on a mystery linen I had in my stash with all of the called for DMC. So the progress might not look like much, but that's because I spent about 2 hours at StitchCon frogging all of this over here. And then started to put more in. Next whip. So the last 2 whips that I worked on are my year-long stitch-alongs that I am just embarrassingly behind on. The first one is the Dragons Afield Guide, Sal, by Climbing Goat Designs. This is a month behind, maybe 2 now at this point. But just kind of doesn't matter because I'm nowhere near even what's on the screen right now on this. But this was the part 4 release. So this is what it looked like after part 4. And I know at least 1 more dragon has been released. There might be 2 more that have been released at this point. But don't laugh at me. I'm stitching this on a 40 count Ancient by Picture This Plus. And here's what I have done. But I finished the word dragons and did the outline on them. Yeah, I finished the outline on the orange outline. You know, it is what it is. The needle minder is just an enamel pin that I purchased and then took my dad, because he's got the cool Dremel tool, took the back off for me, and then I turned it into a needle minder. That is the Scout Regiment logo. And yeah, I love this fabric. I mean, I want to stitch on this more. This is I just don't have time with all the other goals I set for myself. So again, why next year is going to be Year of the Whips. So that was Dragons, a field guide. And then my last whip for June that I worked on was my Modern Folk Embroidery. The year-long stitch along this year, No Time Like the Present. I am stitching this with a colorway of my own choice. I am stitching it with, oh, my needle minder. I am stitching it with DMC 154 and DMC 4522. So 4522 is a variegated, very autumnal variegated. And then the 154 is essentially kind of the eggplanty purple that's in the variegated that I pulled out to be the solid. And didn't get a whole lot of progress on this. I mostly just stitched on it so that I could get a start on the solid, although you can't really tell. So I finished the center medallion. I got the 12 in at the top. Those are all in the 4522. And then there is a 1-stitch border all the way around the center medallion that is in the other color. And you can't really tell it because it's just 1 stitch. So it blends in with the variegated, which I'm kind of bummed about, but it's okay because in the other places where it's the solid color and it's more than 1 stitch, it's the difference will be much more noticeable, I am confident. But I am just stitching this on a 28 count Monaco, 1 strand over 1. And I just love that center medallion. I love this piece. I sort of wish I hadn't set such lofty goals for myself. And not that I can't change them, right? I could decide to abandon my boards or abandon some of my boards, but I kind of also don't really want to because I'm also having fun getting projects done. So, and getting projects started. First world problems, right? It is what it is. So those are all of my whips. So that is all of the stitching that I have to share for you this video. What I have left to share, I'll talk a little bit about StitchCon, not a ton. I'll share the acquisitions that I have acquired since my last video. I will share my July WhipGo calls, the projects that I'll be working on in July, and then what I am reading, watching, and playing. All right. So StitchCon, I went to StitchCon mid-June to Weekend B, the weekend over Father's Day weekend here in the United States. I actually had a work event for my professional association. So StitchCon starts on Thursday. I did not get there until Friday night. So I really was only there for a day and a half, but that's okay. It's by the time the work thing came up, it was too late for me to cancel and get any of my money back. And it's only a 3.5 hour drive from my house. So I figured better to go for a day and a half than like lose all my money and not go at all. So I went, I met up with my friends from Cross Stitch Chat, and it's so nice to see them each year. Lots and lots of fun, just a great group of people. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Clearly got some good work on some whips, even though I was only there for a day and a half. And got some cool things. So let me, I'm not going to do a whole share through because I know plenty of people do and it's okay. But I will share this ginormous bag they gave us. It's almost too big, but it's going to be a great like weekender bag, like for short trips and things like that. Anyway, so just share that. And then just all kinds of stuff. I won't share all of it. It is chock full. I haven't put anything away yet. But I wanted to share a couple of kind of my favorite things that people gifted. Oh no, her card fell out. Or was this her card? Yes. Quilting with Nico made these Ort holders that have like cardstock inside them. So they stay nice and flat and steady, which is really cool. And that's the card if you are interested. So I thought that was really cool. What I also thought was really cool is at every spot, the StitchCon, the keepsakes folks themselves had these little mason jars. I've never seen ones this squat before, with the cute little Ohio and the little heart over Sharonville, which is where keepsakes is and where StitchCon takes place, for us all to use as Ort jars, which I thought was pretty cool. Except then I had to be the snotty Clevelander that was like, the heart's in the wrong place. But that's okay. I'm snotty that way. What else? I don't know. I guess that's probably really all worth showing. Lots of needle minders, lots of fun toys, lots of little zipper pulls and things like that, stickers, all kinds of fun things. one of my cross stitch chat friends gave me some pony black needles, which I love. I got 26 and 28. Love pony black needles. And then all kinds of, I'm trying to get it. There we go. Nope, sort of. Hold on. All kinds of other stuff that I have to find homes for. So that was StitchCon. Let's roll into acquisitions, because I did do some shopping at StitchCon beyond the pony black needles that I got. And so I'll share those as well as the other acquisitions that I've gotten since my last video. I'm pulling over a chair because I have them all sitting over here. So I mentioned Tiffany from Black Cat X-Stitchery. She had some of her project bags for sale in the annex at StitchCon. And of course, by the time I got there Friday night, the annex was closed or closing. So I didn't get to go shopping in the annex until Saturday. So I don't want to say things were picked over, because that's not accurate, but the project bags definitely were picked over already. But I don't care, because I scored big time. I got 2 of Tiffany's project bags. And what's interesting is both of them are ones that, like, if someone asked me to describe, like, hey, I want to make you a project bag, what would you like? I would never in a million years describe anything remotely near what these project bags are. But they just called to me. They sang to me, and I needed them. So the first one I bought on Saturday is this one. So these are both Tula Pink fabrics, which I am finding I apparently like Tula Pink. I have no particular attachment to hippos or really the color pink. I mean, I do like the color pink, but come on, look at these birds and the butterfly, and and the heron. Oh, I love it. And then this is the front, so it's just a coordinating stripe fabric. It's gorgeous. I am obsessed with this bag. So that was the first bag I bought. And then on Sunday, there were still a couple of really cool ones left, including this one with elephants. And I do love Ellies. And the flowers, and I mean, it's just so cool. And then the same coordinating fabric on the inside. So where's my camera? There it is. So Black Cat X-Stitchery is the name of the company. Like I said, I cannot recommend these bags highly enough. I absolutely love them. So that's what I spent most of my money on, was project bags. And then I also did purchase a couple of charts, not too many, because I'm trying to just not buy too much, because I have so many charts left to do. And then I got a few charts off the freebie table as well, including one I just threw on the floor and can't reach now, which is Lovebirds by Quirky Quaker. Super excited for that. But I did end up purchasing 3 charts and 1 piece of fabric. So the first chart I purchased because I have a thing for squirrels. If you've been around for a while, you know I have a soft spot for squirrels. There's a story there, but I just love them. This is The Leaf Flag by Bent Creek. He's just so cute. Oh my gosh, it's like taking everything in me not to like rip it open and start it right now. I don't have a kitten, so I can't, but I love it. And then also from Bent Creek, I purchased the Oodles of Autumn. I just thought that I love that little fox. And again, the squirrel. Anyway, I just thought it was cute. I like Bent Creek. I like a lot of Bent Creek stuff. And with it, I put it in here so I wouldn't forget, Chipmunk, even though there's not a chipmunk on the chart, by Forbidden Fiber Co. I liked the coloring, and I thought it would be a cool floss to use for the border on this chart. Sorry, light glare. Right? I just think it will look nice. So that was one purchase. And then my final chart purchase is one that I almost purchased from Market. I didn't make any purchases from Market this year, but it came out at Market. I almost purchased it then. I have almost purchased it at my LNS about 3 different times. And then Katie, the novel stitcher, started stitching it, and seeing it stitched up, I'm just like, yep, nope, I got to do it. And that is You Got This by the Artsy Housewife. I love it. Love it, love it. I loved it when it came out, and I was just like, no, I have too many charts. I'm not buying it. But then seeing Katie stitch it makes me want to stitch it. I don't know when I'll start it. Probably soon, but love it. And then I purchased, there was a new to me fabric dyer at StitchCon called Millennial Fabrics, established 2023. So I guess they are new. So I purchased a 40 count linen in the color Wonderlust. I just think it's really pretty. And I think I might actually, I'll pull the colors and see, but I think it might be a nice, it's Let me see if I can get, it's not as dark as it's pulling when I'm close. I mean, it is a bit dark, so it might not be a good fit for this chart, but it might be. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pull the flosses and see. So those were my StitchCon acquisitions. Couple other things that came my way. The first one, I won't share the charts because we've been asked not to, but my mom and I went last year for the first time and decided we're going to make it a birthday tradition for me. We go to Chantel 141's pep rally in the fall. It's right around my birthday in September. Last year, Kathy Haberman of Hands On Design was the guest designer. This year, it's Stitching with the Housewives, which I've never stitched anything from them. Their charts really never appeal to me, so we'll see. And they've asked that we not share the chart, but I will share the colorway. So those are the flosses for the charts. They designed a series of 3 Christmas ornaments, which might be an unpopular opinion. Don't at me. But if you're designing for a retreat, I would encourage you to stay away from Christmas and Easter, or anything that is or could be specific to a particular religion. I mean, I know a lot of people, I have Jewish friends who celebrate the secular side of Christmas. I get that. And they are, the ornaments themselves are not overtly Christian, right? They definitely are more secular in nature. However, like some people are like, no, I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm not going to stitch something with Santa or the sleigh or, so I felt like this is potentially non-inclusive, right? That there might be people at that retreat who are not Christian and don't celebrate Christmas in any way, who got this and were all excited and then opened it and were like, oh, I don't know, might be an unpopular opinion, but I just sort of feel like when you're designing for a retreat that 100+ people are attending, you might want to choose a design that's, I mean, listen, you're never going to please everyone, right? Last year, Kathy's design was an autumn themed design, and there were people that were like, "Meh, not my style. I'm not stitching it." That's the risk you take, right? When you sign up for something and you don't know what the chart is. But anyway, I won't harp on it. I do celebrate Christmas. I'm probably going to stitch one of the ornaments. Like, again, Stitching with the Housewives, their style does not appeal to me. I'm not into them. But you do get a finishing class at the retreat, and I kind of suck at finishing things. So I am interested in learning how to finish, what their technique is for finishing an ornament. So I'm going to stitch one of them. I just haven't figured out yet which one, but I probably ought to get started on it soon. Maybe Christmas in July. So that came. Then I also purchased the Dragons box from Bestitch Me, because if you are new here, I'm sure you can already tell I have a thing for dragons. I've got lots of dragon charts going on. This was my first mystery box from Bestitch Me. And I won't go through everything. Well, actually, I probably will go through everything that's in it, but I'll do it quickly. It's a great box. The one thing I'm really disappointed in, unless she makes everything herself, which maybe she does, and I don't know, but it doesn't say that either, is the little sheet that comes with the description of everything doesn't say like where they're from, like who made them. And maybe, like I said, maybe Brandy made everything herself, but I'm kind of disappointed about that. Like if she did contract with someone, I would love to know who, so that I could support their business. So I might reach out to her and ask her. Because they really are very, very cool. So it starts with a floss winder, which I have a bunch my dad has made. But I mean, I just look at the acrylic. Like, I just love the coloring of it. It's so cool. And there are little dragons in here. What I like about this one, it has a little thread notch to like hook your thread onto, which I might tell my dad to start adding to the ones that he makes. But we got that. We got floss drops in the same sort of acrylic pattern to match. Whoops, and I just dropped them all. A wicked needle minder. It's huge, but it's gorgeous. I love it. We also got a really neat scissor fob. Take it out of the box. Again, sort of all in this sort of black and burgundy. Whoops, he's facing the wrong way. You can do his little dragon butt instead. There we go. Little scissor fob. Some size 26 ball tip needles. I love these needles. Love them. They're so cool. If you've never used them, they're a little pricey, but they're really, really cool. And then and I should mention, I got what was it called? The Epic? she had 2 size boxes, and I got the smaller of the 2. It came with 10 skeins of her hand-dyed silk floss, which are gorgeous. Sort of hold them all up here. Love them. Now I have to inventory them in my Notion. The silks. The chart is by Ingleside Imaginarium. It's called Spots and Stripes. It only uses 2 of the colors of this silk, so all the others are just bonus, which is kind of cool. It's kind of a cool chart. I kind of like it. I feel like it's a play on yin and yang, right? Stars and stripes. Not stars and stripes. Stripes and spots. Not a huge fan of the fabric though, because the variegated floss like blends in here, right? And then we got 3 cuts of hand-dyed fabric, including the one that the model or the chart was stitched on, which is this one, Dragon's Breath. I got everything in a 32 count Jobelin. So I got 1/8 of a yard of Dragon's Breath, 1/8 of a yard of Dragon Scale, and Dragon's Lair. Brandy does such beautiful dyeing of fabrics. I really miss being in her Fabric of the Month club, except I already have too many fabrics. So that was the Dragons mystery box from Bestitch Me. The first time I've done a mystery box with her. Really love the contents. Really love the quality of them. I just wish I knew where they came from. So I think I'm going to have to message her and just ask. Like I said, and maybe she made them all herself. Person of many talents, perhaps. So that was the Dragons box. And lastly, I got the deluxe Dragon mystery box. I think Epic was the bigger one. And then finally, I mentioned Tiffany of Black Cat X-Stitchery. She has a quarterly bag club subscription box that I do because I love her bags. And right before I left for StitchCon, I got my summer one. And look, so normally I'm not into chickens, but again, I love this fabric. They're so cute. So it's chickens, and then on the inside, look, it's chicken wire. And each bag comes with an ort holder and a needle minder in the same fabric. So yeah, if you can get, I don't know if she has her club open right now, but I absolutely love being a part of it. It's like perfect. It's the perfect price point. It's the perfect frequency. It's just quarterly. It's perfect. I love it. So I am slowly replacing my cheapy Amazon bags with her bags through the club. My last acquisition, my mom purchased for me, are, maybe I shared these in my last video. If I did, I apologize. Are these Clover Dome threaded needle cases. She got me 2. And I had seen these before and didn't know what to do with them. I'm like, what are these things? Like, why do people want these? Then when I was at Stitch North, Jade, the 310 stitcher, was sitting next to me, stitching on a huge project with tens of thousands, maybe even 100,000 black stitches on it. And she had one of these. And basically she had it preloaded, 10 needles with the strand with 310 in it already. And can I tell you, she was whipping through her project because she wasn't having to take time to thread her needle. I was like, oh my gosh, this is fabulous for like monochromatic stitching and all that. So my mom got me 2 of them as a gift. Clearly haven't done anything with them yet, but I'm excited to and put them in my monochromatic projects because I think they'll help things go faster. All right. Whew, I feel like there's so much to talk about in this video. Last thing, my July board calls. So I mentioned as I went through my projects already that I have the 3 boards. Jess of Jessie Marie Does Stuff, the mastermind behind WhipGo, drew the numbers for July. I forgot to write down what they were. Oops. But here are the projects that were called for me. Oops, my bad. I forgot to write down the numbers. So my new starts are Parties Chill by Bendy Stitchy and Gather Here by Hello from Liz Matthews. So let me pop over. Parties Chill I do not have kitted yet, so I don't have anything to show you but the chart. But this was a series of charts that originally started as Patreon exclusive charts. Now, most of them, if not all of them, are available to purchase on her website. I'm on her website right now. And they came from, the motifs are from antique samplers that she has. And she did sort of this whole series. Now, this one is actually literally a quote from a court opinion And I think if you go to Bendy's website, in fact, I think if I scroll over, you can see it. Yeah. That it is about a song that there was a lawsuit around some piece of it, right? Either a musical motif or the lyrics themselves. And the artist won, prevailed in the party, and the judge literally ended his ruling with the parties are advised to chill. And so Michelle charted that with some motifs from one of her antique samplers. And so this is one of my new start calls for the month of July. I think I'm actually going to kit this up today so that I can start it. My kids and I are going on a vacation / college visit tour. We leave tomorrow. And so I think a smaller project like this would be perfect to take with me. And I love the sentiment of it. So that is Parties Are Advised to Chill, or Parties Chill is the name of the chart. That is one of my new starts. So even though it's smaller, it's not a start and finish, in part because it's a little denser and I didn't know if I could finish it in a month. I might be able to, we'll see. But that is one of them. And then the other is Gather Here, which I have them all in the wrong order. It's on the very bottom of my pile here, by Hello from Liz Matthews. Here is the chart. I'm going to have to scan it and digitize it. I just think it's gorgeous. I can't wait to have this like hanging in my kitchen or my living room, or maybe even in my dining room. I don't know, but it's just absolutely beautiful. And I am doing a tone on tone for this. I am stitching it on a 36 count Valor by Picture This Plus. Here's the linen. Oops, got a strand from the serging there. Here's the linen. So again, 36 count Valor from Picture This Plus. And I am stitching it with number 52 Emerald Dinky Dye Silks. So again, it'll be a tone on tone. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. There you go. It's a little truer color. So that will be one of my new starts, my other new start in the month of July. Ooh, maybe I'll set up one of my little threaded needle dome things that I just showed. Since this is monochromatic, maybe I'll do that. All right, I have the two start and finishes, my Saft Go calls. Another Bendy Stitchy chart. This one is Chaotic Vibes. Let me find that. I don't have a printout of that one, so let me pull over. So here is a photo of that. So you can see very small, very should be a very quick stitch. This is, I mentioned, right, she had this sort of whole series that she did. The Parties Chill is a little bit separate, but these are a whole series, sort of the same thing. She pulled motifs from antique samplers that she has, and the words from this series came from a tweet. I forget like the context around, but it's things like, anyway, they're fabulous. They're on her shop now. I'm pretty sure they're all on her shop now. So definitely encourage you to check them out. I have, so that is Chaotic Vibes only. I have this actually kitted up in a bag with another one of her charts that is on my Safco board as well. And so here are the flosses, because they use a lot of the same flosses. So here are the flosses for both Chaotic Vibes and Nonsense is the other chart. And I am stitching them both on 32 count. I think this might be Portobello. I started to say Sand Dollar, but I don't think so. Sand Dollar's a little lighter. But these are from Bestitch Me. Let me see if I can find quickly what the color is. Probably not. that probably takes too much effort. Let me see. See if I was smart enough to put the fabric in. No, why would I do that? Okay. Sorry, that apparently I'm not so great at my record keeping. I'm trying to be better, but either way, I think this might be Portobello by Bestitch Me. If you know your Bestitch Me colors and you know it's something different, feel free to chime in the comments and let me know. But that will be for Chaotic Vibe. Oh, no, hold on. Oh, look at this. I wrote it on the back of my, look at me. Coconut Shell. So not Portobello. 32 count Coconut Shell, Lugana, 32 count by Bestitch Me. See, past Heather was thinking. Past Heather had, today Heather's back. All right. So that is one of my Safco calls. The other one is one I don't have kitted up yet. It was a free chart from the Blue Flower back in 2022, I think, and it was Christmas Hippo. It's so cute. Oddly enough, I don't have the DMC colors for the hippo himself. So I'm either going to have to borrow them from my mom or go buy them, which is why this isn't kitted yet. But that will be one of my other start and finish projects for the month of July. And then my two whips that were called, I should have stayed over on, I should have stayed over on my other screen because the first one is this chart from Forbidden Fiber Co. This is, oops, sorry, wrong bag. This is, I forget what she calls it. God Creates Dino, I guess. I don't know exactly what the name of the chart is, but it is a quote from Jurassic Park, which is God Creates Dinosaurs. Which actually I said Leanne. The design's by Kelly at Forbidden Fiber Co. And it's a quote right from the movie. It's fabulous. I love it. This was part of a sort of Jurassic Park dinosaur themed like mystery kit or a box that Forbidden Fiber Co. did that I missed out on. And then some of my friends in Cross Stitch Chat did get it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that chart. So when the chart came available to purchase as a kit for people who didn't buy the box, I snapped it up. And this was one of my New Year's Eve new starts, New Year's Eve 12 by 12, right? That's what it's called. In 2022, right? So New Year's Eve 2022, I started this. I got a sad, pathetic little start on it. Here are the, oops, hold on. Let me cut back to the full screen. Here are the flosses. I just love them. They're so vibrant. And the fabric is a Bestitch Me. I forget the color name. I probably didn't put it in my Notion because that would require too much effort. And holy smokes, this is so sad and pathetic. I knew I had a small start on it. I didn't know it was this small. I'm going to have to figure out which way is even up. That's how small this start is. There you go. It's a center start. So it's probably, I don't know, part of the E or the A in creates. Whatever. I don't know. That's pathetic. I mean, that's almost worth like pulling out and starting over because I don't even know. I'll have to look at the chart and see if I can figure out. I mean, that's just sad. No wonder 10 looks so despondent and discouraged. He's like, really? That's embarrassing. That's the 10th Doctor, by the way, if you don't watch Doctor Who. That's David Tennant. He's my doctor. But that's that one. So this will get 300 stitches in it, so it will be much less pathetic once I'm done with it. Oh my gosh, so embarrassing. All right. Friends, that's all my stitching. If that's all you're here for, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope that you liked what you saw. Let me know what you're stitching on. Let me know what you're most excited to see me work on in July. And have a fabulous day. If you want to stick around and hear what I have been reading, watching, and playing, we're rolling into that. June was a super busy month. Was getting my daughter ready for scout camp. I had that event for work. Oh my God, I lied. Oh, sorry, those of you who left. I have one more whip. Where's my brain today? My second whip go call is Haunted Fur by Kitten Bixby. I hope everyone hadn't left yet. So here is Haunted Fur by Kitten Bixby. This is being stitched with all the called for flosses on a 16 count Aida that I hand dyed myself. I did not hand dye myself. My friend Nessa dyed this for me as part of a Halloween exchange that we did in Cross Stitch Chat a couple years ago. And here is where it is starting. So this is where I am right now. So I want to say that I'm close to a finish on this, but this chart is deceptive in how much stitching there actually is. So I have pretty much, right, more than half of the chart totally done, or almost totally done. There are little leaf details I still have to do, little motifs here. And then, I obviously have to do, whoops, wrong side, finish the side on the other side. So I don't think I will finish it in July, but it's so cool. I love it though. I really am excited that it's getting close to a finish. If I don't finish it in July, then this will definitely be a 2025 finish. Needle minder is, this one might be by Mad for Minders. Little Dalek. Okay, so now that's all the stitching. Good grief. Keeping it real over here. I am how you find me. Okay, now what I've been reading, watching, and stitching. So again, I was saying June's been a very busy month, getting my daughter ready for scout camp, getting ready for this trip that we're leaving on tomorrow. I had that thing for work. I had StitchCon. So I've not been doing a whole lot. So I have been reading, the book that I have been reading is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is the first in a series. It's a sort of a fantasy novel. Jason, Easy Cat on Instagram, recommended this book. And so I picked it up about halfway through, really enjoying it. It's a very fast read. It is under the Martial Empire. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Laia is a slave. Elias is a soldier. Or Leia. Maybe it's Leia. It's Laia. I've been saying Laia because Leia sounds too Star Wars, which I love Star Wars, but this is not Star Wars. Laia is a slave. Elias is a soldier. Neither is free. Under the Martial Empire, defiance is met with death. Those who do not vow their blood and bodies to the emperor risk the execution of their loved ones and the destruction of all they hold dear. It is in this brutal world, inspired by ancient Rome, that Laia lives with her grandparents and older brother. The family ekes out an existence in the empire's impoverished back streets. They do not challenge the empire. They've seen what happens to those who do. But when Laia's brother is arrested for treason, Laia is forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for them from within the empire's greatest military academy. There, Laia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling. Elias wants only to be free of the tyranny he's being trained to enforce. He and Laia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined and that their choices will change the fate of the empire itself. So that is An Ember in the Ashes. Very good so far. Really like it. Once I finish that, I'm going to be picking up Funny Story by Emily Henry. This is the next book for Katie, the Novel Stitchers book club, Stitches and Pages. If you are sort of not aware of that yet, definitely encourage you to hop over to Katie's channel. I'll link it down below. And she hosts this, she just started hosting it, this book club. And we have 2 months to read the book, and then she hosts 2 or 3 different Zooms for us to kind of get together and talk about them. You're encouraged to pick up a chart, either a whip or something new to stitch kind of along with the book as you're reading it. I haven't done that yet. I'll probably just read the books. I have too many other projects going on. Or maybe I'll sort of do a very, very loose connection in some way. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But this is Funny Story by Emily Henry. The sort of premise is the main character, Daphne, is engaged to the love of her life, Peter, and then he breaks up with her to say that he actually is instead in love with his, I think, childhood best friend. And then so she gets basically kind of kicked out of the home that they had purchased together as they were preparing for their wedding, and ends up sort of running into her ex-fiance's new girl's ex, who also has a broken heart because Petra, the other girl, broke up with him to get together with Peter, right? It's very chaotic. Ooh, chaotic vibes. Maybe I'll stitch that to this. And so then Max, his name, and Daphne decide to sort of run into each other. They form a tenuous friendship and a plan. If said plan also involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their summer adventures together, well, who could blame them? And I'm sure because Emily Henry's stories are light romances, they'll end up together, right? They'll end up sort of getting together for nefarious reasons to try and stick it to their exes, and then we'll end up finding that they love each other, I'm sure, is how it will go. But Emily Henry writes some good books. They're great summer reads. They're entertaining. They're not too syrupy. They tend to be pretty funny. The women leads tend to be pretty strong-willed, which I like. So that is Funny Story is what I will be reading next. In terms of watching, again, it's been a little light. So if you're a returning viewer, you know the kids and I really love anime. We've been watching through some things together. Our big thing we're watching right now is Boruto. which is the follow-up series to Naruto. It's the show we're watching together, so we have not watched it in over a week because Mia has been gone at camp. So I suspect we'll do a little bit of a binge tonight when she's back. I also rewatched A Sign of Affection with my daughter. She did not watch it with me the first time. And then when I was telling her about it, she thought it was really cool and wanted to watch it with me. That is an anime on Crunchyroll about Yuki, who is a deaf college student. And she ends up kind of bumping into this guy named Itsuomi, who is a polyglot, speaks lots of languages, is super interested in cultures and connecting with people, and sort of how they start to form a relationship. And there's, more complications and plot around that. But I love the representation it brings and, the way that it, presents Yuki as, she might be completely deaf. I mean, she really doesn't hear anything. But she's out living her life, right? As she should be. And as most deaf people do. And so there's not a whole lot of ableism in the show, which is really nice. It's just a sweet story. And I got to meet the voice actor who voices Itsuomi at a con recently, and he also was super, super nice. By the time I got up there, he was out of his Itsuomi photos and tried to draw a picture of Itsuomi for me to sign, and it failed miserably, so he just signed his name, but it was very sweet. And then probably one of my favorite anime of all time is Fruits Basket. And I discovered on Crunchyroll, because I originally watched Fruits Basket on Hulu. But Crunchyroll has a movie. So a lot of the anime have movies that go along with them, I am learning. Hulu didn't have the movie, but Crunchyroll did. So I watched that, and it was very sweet. It was more of a story about Toru's mom and dad, and kind of the story of how they got together and what happened to them. It was very good. Love Fruits Basket. If you've not watched it, it's fabulous. So that's kind of what I've been watching. Last thing I've been watching is Jet Lag Australia. So Jet Lag is a web show. It's available on YouTube. It's also available on a streaming service called Nebula. And it's just these three young men who literally create geography-based board games. So Australia, they took the 6 states and territories in Australia and basically created challenge boards. And it's very difficult to describe, but it's highly entertaining. It's very wholesome. They're just like 3 best buds and then a 4th friend that they invite in to be Sam's teammate each year. Ben and Adam are always teammates. And it's wholesome. It's entertaining. You kind of get to see the world a little bit through them. So the kids and I always watch that, and that's really entertaining. So that's what I have been watching this month. Not a whole lot of FlossTube, not a whole lot of TV, period. I mean, it sounds like a lot because it's 4 things, but it was like 1 movie. It was like 10 episodes of a show with my daughter. We haven't watched Boruto in weeks, and Jet Lag is, I think, 6 or 7 episodes each season. It's not very long. So yeah, it hasn't been much this month. And then in terms of what I've been playing, I got back into Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I think I had mentioned in a previous video, I was stuck on a dungeon. I figured it out. I got through that dungeon, and I'm now just kind of tooling around in the outside world now, just doing random side quests and things of that sort. Love Zelda, love playing it, tons of fun. Also playing Minecraft. My son and I started a new world together, and we've been having fun playing in that. We added a new add-on. So Minecraft has new add-ons that you can put onto your games that basically creates a grave marker every time we die that holds all of our stuff. So it's kind of like a way to keep inventory, but you still have to like go back and find it. But it won't burn, right? So if you've ever played Minecraft before, if you die, you lose all your inventory. And if you don't get back to where you died within a certain amount of time frame, it all like burns up in the sun, right? And so you lose it all. In the grave marker, it doesn't die. It doesn't burn up though. You can go get it whenever you want. So that's been fun. We've been playing that world together. And then I started a new game called Little Kitty Big City. And it is so cute. It is absolutely adorable. It reminds me quite a bit of, oh my gosh, the Untitled Goose Game. Reminds me a little bit of that. Tons of fun, but basically you're playing as this little black and white tuxedo cat who accidentally got knocked off of a ledge that she was napping on and fell. and now has to find her way back home, and sort of all the other animals like she encounters. And it's kind of quirky. It's kind of silly. Like, you meet a tanuki who creates like this interdimensional portal that like sends you halfway across the map. It's actually not half across the map, just under a fence. But then you can't get back, so you have to find another way to get around. Like, it's just sort of odd, weird things. You're picking up shinies for a crow, but now I can't figure out how to get back to the crow because I talked to the tanuki and he sent me through the portal, and now I'm like in an area where I have to find the long way back around. But it's super fun and light and cheerful. So if you are a video gamer, I'm playing it on Game Pass through Xbox. It's called Little Kitty, Big City. Super cute. That's what I've been doing. Beyond that, I have been working my little tail off. Had a little bit of drama. I had a team member leave and discovered after she left that certain things were left undone that she said were done. And some of them were incredibly time sensitive. So there were a couple of 10+ hour days this week at work, which was not fun. But I think I now have everything done that needs to be done before the end of June. And there's still lots left that I have to fix, but it's less time sensitive and so can wait until I am back from this trip. But so that's not been super fun. But yeah, so it's just been super busy. I'm looking forward to hopefully July being a little calmer, although I don't know why I think it will be. So we are taking this trip, family vacation / college tours. We get back from that. We get like a day at home, and then my son starts goalkeepers camp, which is only a couple hours in the evening. It's local, so that's not too bad. But then 2 days after we get back, I have to drive my daughter down to Otterbein University for drum major camp. She gets back from that, has 2 days at home, and then band camp starts. So, and then that rolls through. That's 3 weeks long. And then we're into the beginning of August. And then it's like school starting again. It's wild how time moves so quickly. But that's my stitching. That's what I've been reading, watching, and playing. That's my quick life update. And that's my video today. I hope that you enjoyed. As I said, I always reply to all of my comments, so would love to hear your thoughts, what you're working on, any must-sees in Connecticut, Rhode Island, or Boston. Those are the places that we are heading on our college visit. And anything else you want to share with me? Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope that you have a fantastic day. And as I close all my videos, I will say, hug your loved ones, take care of yourself, and happy stitching. Bye.